Hi all, welcome to part 1 of the video lecture on module 5. So we are just starting the 5th module of computer network as per your K2 syllabus. So what was the topic of discussion so far? So I think in third module onwards we were discussing the network layer, right? So just an overview. So initially, in our data communication course we covered the physical layer almost, and we just touched this on our module 1 also, right? And when we move on to module 2, we cover the data link layer aspects of computer network in detail, that is with module 2. So module 3 onwards actually we are covering that network layer because it is something core layer, right? So somewhat the heart of the OSI layer, like that you can view, because it's somewhat sit in middle, and above this we have the transport layer and of course the application layer. And when it comes to ISO OSI reference model, application layer itself they are splitting like a presentation layer and session layer, but in TCP IP it is like this. So it is something that sit in middle, and we are giving more attention to this one. So module 3 we covered the functionality, the core functionality of network layer, that is routing, right? And in module 4 we move on to other two functionality, that is that congestion control we covered in detail, then inter-networking aspects of this network layer, and then we saw the protocol, the popular protocol of network layer, that is IP protocol. So like that we proceeded. Now again in module 5 we will see something from network layer only. So we are still on network layer. So this actually as per your syllabus, these 3 modules they are given just for network layer, and in the 6th module we will just have a look into transport layer and application layer together. So this is how the entire layered architecture of networking is being covered, right? So in 5th module, here what we are going to see is about some of the supporting softwares, supporting protocols of the network layer. We already seen in 4th layer the core protocol of network layer, that is IP. Now along with this IP there are certain protocols like ICMB, which you heard many times, right? Internet control message protocol, internet group management protocol, IGMB, the dynamic host configuration protocol for configuration of the individual host, then address resolution protocol. So like that many supporting protocols are there. So together it makes the network layer, right? So this is the core one, and these are all the supporting protocols. So the supporting protocol we will see, and of course some of the routing protocols also, like that BGP is also there in 5th module. So like that the 5th module is, the topics were distributed in 5th module, right? So hope you get an idea. So we will start our discussion with the very first supporting protocol, that is the internet control, right? So this is an overview about the supporting protocol. So what about it other than IP? So in addition to IP, which is used for the data transfer purpose, that is a core protocol of the network layer, the internet has several companion protocols, right? So they are normally control informations they are communicating. So IP is particularly for the data transfer, right? So IP will be dealing with the actual data transfer, but if you look at the supporting protocols, the combining protocols are for the control information transfer. So that are used in the network layer is what we. So they include the internet control message protocol. So we will start our discussion with ICMB, and then the address resolution protocol, DSCP, and ARP itself. We have a reverse ARP something, and boot P. Actually these three are come into same category. This reverse ARP is where we started, and then we switched the functionality of reverse ARP, so that is being done by the boot P protocol, and followed by the same thing is done by DSCP in a most efficient way, right? So all these are the supporting protocols, of course, in the network layer. So the versions of these protocols are corresponds to IPv4, will be discussed in the subsequent classes, because they are the protocols that are in common use. So IP version itself, v6 is under development and in the experimental phase only, where v4 is the one which we are using right now. So the discussion will be focusing the ICMB, IRP and DSCP protocol particularly for that IPv4 support. But when it comes to IPv6, the corresponding versions are there, like ICMB itself, ICMB version 6 is there for IPv6, right? Yeah. ICMB and DSCP also. It's a similar versions are available in IPv6. But if you look at ARP, the equivalent form of ARP in IPv6 is known to be NDP, Neighbor Discovery Protocol, right? Anyway, these things we'll just listed only. We will be covering the protocol versions that is compatible for IPv4. So that will be discussed in 5th module. So for further reading, when we will have a look into IPv6. So following that, you can see how these things are working in IPv6. So this ICMB, DSCP or NDP. So that you can read by yourself, as it is not there in the syllabus. I am not covering. So now we will start our discussion with the very popular protocol, the supporting protocol, the Internet Control Message Protocol, ICMP. So after IPs, this is something here and there, the full support is being provided by the ICMP protocol. The operation of the Internet is monitored closely by the routers, right? So when something unexpected occurs, so unexpected in the sense it could be an error, it could be congestion or anything else, right? So that is to be informed to others, right? So when something unexpected occurs during the packet processing at a router, the event is reported to the sender by the ICMP. So ICMP is having the role of reporting the problems that are happening in the smooth working of a given network. So if something unexpected occurs, that will be reported by ICMP to the sender machine. Or other machines on the way even, right? Even, yeah. So ICMP is also used to test the internet, the connectivity and all, ICMP echo messages and all. We will see each of the ICMP messages in detail. So each ICMP message type is encapsulated in an IP packet. So that is the first thing you have to keep in your mind. Even though ICMP is a control type of packet, it is wrapped inside an IP packet only. So ultimately ICMP is also an IP packet, right? So IP, it's providing best effort delivery only and there is no guarantee. So the same problem is with the ICMP also, that will also give you the best effort delivery. So even there is something unexpected happened in the network, there is no guarantee that it will be informed by others, because ICMP is running over IP. So there is no guarantee for both, right? So such a difficulty is there. So if we have some other way, it could be better to deal with that other alternative. And of course you can depend them, but they will provide you only best effort delivery. So about a dozen types of ICMP messages are defined, because almost all the control type of things in internet will be handled by this ICMP. So there are many already there, but out of them the most important ones are listed in the next slide, right? Something like this. So in the Unbound textbook mainly they were discussing these 8 types of ICMP. So we will also see them. So what is the thing? The principal ICMP message type, the first one is destination unreachable. So the word itself says that when you start sending some information, you couldn't find the destination. So the packet could not be delivered, right? So there are many reasons for that. Sometimes the address may be wrong, or on the way there is something called a do not fragment field in your. So it's something I already told you also in the IP header. If this is equal to 1, the source is insisting others on the way don't do any fragmentation. But in between, if somebody is forced to do fragmentation and the do not fragment flag is equal to 1, so there is no other way, it is supposed to discard the packet. Because it's not possible for it to send a larger packet, and at the same time sender is not letting it to break it further. Right. So now, so this is also a situation where the destination is unreachable. That is because of this do not fragment flag, as well as the maximum transmission unit of that particular network could be less than what the packet is having, like that, right? So in that way also you can make use of it. So different purposes. Ultimately the packet we couldn't manage the packet to reach the destination. That's also whenever such a situation arises, this destination unreachable ICMP error will be reported. Now another one is like the time exceed ICMP message. We are typically using the so-called time to leave field, right? And TTL field, every router will be in every hop, it will be decremented by 1, and it will be set initialized with the value. So that is the maximum. In worst case, how many hop any packet will be taken to reach the destination. So with that value, we will estimate and we will initialize with that. So if it is reaching 0, what does it mean? Right, it is the packet is taking some wrong route and it is somehow looping in the network. So it may unwanted lead to some kind of traffic. So we will forcefully discard such packet with the time to leave is equal to 0, and together we will send an ICMP message informing the sender that something happened with this particular protocol. The time exit happened, right? Another one is about the parameter problem. So it's particularly if there is something wrong with the header, right, IP header, this error will be reported by the individual routers. For example, just as an example, I can take like this invalid header I am explaining. Something, in a IP header we have the header length field, IP header length field, right? So hope you remember how this is managed. What is the actual IP header? It could be any value between 20 to 60 byte. So 20 is minimum and some 40 byte option value, 20 to 60 byte. So if you want to represent this in that particular field, some 60 in binary, it will require some 6 bits at least, but this IP header length field is just 4 bits. So using 4 bits, how we will do? By scale down. So whatever be the actual IP header length, we will divide it by 5, divide it by 4, because that difference 2 bit 2 power 2, divide it by 4, and that value will be stored. So this 20 will be 20 by 4, it will be 5, and 60 will be 15. So any value between 5 to 15 is valid. 5 means the minimum fixed header only, 15 means so it is containing the maximum value for the header. So whatever it is, suppose in the IP header length, if mistakenly the data being corrupted, or it is stored something like say 0 0 1 0, what does it mean? 0 0 1 0 is 2, so 2 is not at all be a valid value for this field, so it should be at least 5. So it can report a parameter problem. So one scenario I just thought of explaining you. Similarly, the other field also you can observe. So there will be some default behavior and some default value will be expected, some range, something. So if it is something coming unexpected, something different, so that time you can report this particular error. Now another one is the choke packet, something we already seen in the congestion management. So particularly the source quench packet that force the source or throttle the source to reduce the flow. So redirect is another message. What does it mean? The teach a router about the geography. So already taken some route and you are saying that so it will be better. So you are sending it back. Don't send to me. There is some other alternative better path exists. You please redirect. So in that way you can inform the routers about the geography and a better path. If you are knowing, I mean on the way some router were knowing a better path, that can be informed by means of the ICMP redirect message. Or it could be the reason like that particular router may be too much congested or traffic prone, so it is asking the previous router to try redirection, right? Now this echo and echo replay is something being used by the ping utility, which is very much familiar for you, that check whether the other machine is alive or not. The connectivity could be checked. And the timestamp request and reply, so that is again same as this echo message but with this timestamp information. So it's time information also you will be getting if it is the purpose is so. And router advertisement and solicitation, so that will find the discovery of a new router. So whenever a new router come up, it can advertise itself, right, and the other routers will get information about it. So for that purpose also we can depend the ICMP messages. So like that there are many ICMP variations, but these things we will see in detail because they are of some importance, right, compared to others. So destination unreachable and time exit, simple one, as we already seen. When it will be generated, when the router cannot locate the destination due to some reason, or the do not fragment bit is being set and we are forced to deliver it over a small packet network. So it will report error like this. So hope you get it. And time exceed message is sent is regarding TTL value. The packet will be dropped when TTL reaches 0, and this event is a symptom that the packet is looping on the network, or that the counter set is slow. I mean, what could be the value to be initialized for this TTL? You have an estimate like this many hop will be taken by the packet, but actually if it is taking more hops, TTL could be reached to 0 before it is reaching destination, and that error. So whenever such an error is coming, you have to ensure whether it is some looping problem. So some kind of troubleshooting should be happen from the administrator side, and is it because of some routing algorithm malfunctioning and some looping is happening, or it's because the counter is not initialized with the TTL counter is not initialized with the correct value, it is initialized with something slow, so that you can increase the initialization value for the TTL. So in both the ways you can use it. Alright, now there we can a small overview of a particular utility used in traceroute. Why it is discussed here? Because this traceroute utility, so this is by default available as a command in Windows or Linux. You can Google it, what is that command, and you can try it. So whenever you try sending something to a destination, it will trace a route in the sense on the way which are all the routers that will be making use of this particular, I mean, so when we try to deliver something to a given destination, what are all the routers that we gone through, so that will be traced by the traceroute utility, and it will correctly report you the IP address of the intermediate routers. So that is something available as a system call in most of the operating system. But now what is the procedure used in traceroute? It's very simple. It's actually an application of what we already seen, that is the time exceed ICMP message and TTL field. So with the help of that, this route utility will be working, and we will see how it is. One clever use of the time exceed error message is the traceroute utility, and is developed by Van Jacobson in 1987. So just a simple application only, but it's very useful utility. So traceroute finds the routers along the path from the host to the destination IP address. Of course, the path will be, or the route will be traced. So it finds this information without any kind of privileged network support. So it don't need any network support, simply with the help of some software commands it's achieving that. So how it is? So the method is used to send a sequence of packets to the destination. Say, so on the background, even though you are mentioning the IP address of the destination alone, the utility will be running on the background, and it will send actually a sequence of packets one after another to the destination with the different TTL value. Like the first packet will be having the TTL value 1, and the second packet will be having TTL value 2, then third one 3, and so on. So you can hope you understood how this is working. As TTL is equal to 1, so suppose this is suppose this is a sender, and the sender starts sending, and this is a receiver, and on the way these are all the intermediate routers, right? So what will happen on the way? First you are sending the first packet with the TTL is equal to 1, and that TTL will be reduced to 0, right? So this will be reduced to 0, and this packet will be discarded at this point, right? As soon as it is discarded, some time exceed message will be coming back with the IP address of this particular router. So that is how it will locate the IP address of the first router on the way. Then it will send another packet, say with the TTL equal to time to leave is equal to 2, so that it will be decremented by 1 at this point and 0 at this point. So at this point it will be discarded, and another time exit message will be sent back. Similarly, the same thing will proceed, and on the way, with every time exit message, the sender will collect the IP address of those devices we send that ICMP time exit message, and from that it can trace a route easily. So the counters on the packet will reach 0 on successive routers. For the first packet, it will reach 0 at the first router itself, and the second packet will reach 0 at the second router only, because TTL is 2 for the second one. So these routers will each send a time exit message, of course, back to the sender. From these messages, the host can determine the IP address of the routers along the way, right? As well as keep statics and timing on parts of the path. So how long it will take, because how long it took for the time exit message to come back. So like that, it can calculate a number of statics also. So it is not what the time exit message was intended for. So the purpose is something different, just like the error reporting part only. But we are having a nice utility running that making use of this particular ICMP commands. So but it is perhaps the most useful network debugging tool all the time, right? And the parameter problem or the source quench message, this is another one. The parameter problem message indicates that an illegal value has been detected in a header field. So this is something I already explained you with that, with the help of that IP header length field. So that minimum some 5 to 15, that range requirement is if its value something other than this, it will be reporting this kind of an error, and that will happen with any other field of the ICMP IP header even. So this problem indicates a bug in sending the host. It could be either due to some problem with the IP software at the sender side, or possibly is on the router, or some other erroneous situation. So anyway, it will be reported back. And source conch message, which is being used as part of this congestion, is another one that is that was long ago used to throttle hosts that were sending too many packets. And right now, this source conch, we have the another techniques like I say explicit congestion notification, load shedding, many other approaches were there. So this is somewhat an older technique where it stopped this host by on sending further packets, so to reduce the flow. So when a host received this message, it was expected to slow down. So it is rarely used anymore because when congestion occurs, these packets tend to add more fuel to fire, and it is unclear how to respond to them. So that is a difficulty we are having when we are generating such source conch packets. Additionally, that will add some more fuel to the already existing congestion, right? So like that, many problems were there, and there is no guarantee that it will be correctly reaching the receiver. So we were looking for alternative methods for congestion handling. So congestion control in the network is now done largely by taking action in the transport layer using the packets losses as a congestion signal. So the congestion handling entirely, I think I don't have to explain this further. Please watch the videos of module 4. You will understand this, how these things were handled by the transport layer itself, right? Everything we covered that time. And I think 2 more messages, that's a redirect and echo message, something I already told you. So the redirect message is used when the router notices a packet seems to be routed incorrectly, or this may be congested, some other better path exists, but still the previous router is not able to choose that better path. So it can inform the previous router by a redirect message. So it is used by the router to tell the sending host to update to a better route. Either the previous sending host means the actual host, or it could be the previous sending router in any way. Whoever on the who send that to me, please try to update the route. So that is the meaning. And echo, simple one, the ping utility, right? The echo message and the echo reply messages are sent by the host to see if a given destination is reachable and currently alive or not. Upon receiving the echo message, the destination is supposed to or expected to send back the echo reply message. So these messages are used in the ping utility, the packet internet gopher, the ping utility that checks if a host is up for on the network or not. So by looking at the echo message and echo reply. So the timestamp, request, reply, router advertisement, and solicitation. 2 more ICMP messages, just an overview. So this timestamp, request and reply, like I already told you that it's like echo message only, but with timestamp information additionally. So they are similar to echo message, except that the arrival time of the message and the departure time of the reply, those things were also recorded in addition to just a response. So this facility can be used to measure the network performance, so how much time it taken for that data to reach there and come back. So that performance related things you can depend this one. So the router advertisement and solicitation messages are used to let host find nearby routers. Right, of course, whenever finding part, as well as whenever someone is coming up, it can advertise his presence. So a host needs to learn the IP address of the least one router to be able to send packet off the network. At least whenever you start sending the packet, the nearby router at least, or the default gateway, something like that, at least you should know to proceed. Once it is taken by the nearby default gateway, it will find the next router, like that. But as soon as as far as a host is concerned, the very first level router at least should be known to it, maybe by means of solicitation, route solicitation message, it could achieve that. And the router itself can advertise its presence by advertisement message, right? Yeah, that's all the ICMP protocol, the strongest internet the control protocol, of course. So this is something acting as a support protocol for the so-called core IP protocol. So IP and ICMP together makes the network layer of the TCP IP protocol, right? And the different types, I hope you remember. Just one more time, the destination unreachable, the time exceed, the parameter problem. So just recollect how these things are working. Source quench packet, redirect, echo replay, echo and echo replay, timestamp request replay, router advertisement and solicitation. Simple one. So just give a small explanation to them if it is asked in your exam. Yeah, thanks for watching.